your lower belly starting to push forward, even though your weight hasn't really changed? Maybe your back feels tighter than it used to. Standing for long periods feels more tiring. And no matter how much you walk or try to stay active, your posture just doesn't feel as comfortable or upright as before. For many adults over 50, this change seems to appear quietly, almost without warning. One day your clothes fit differently, your balance feels slightly off, and your body begins to lean forward in ways you never noticed before. Most people assume this is simply part of aging. They blame weak abs or slowing metabolism or losing muscle over time. But what if your belly isn't actually the problem? What if the real issue is the position of your pelvis, the foundation that supports your entire body? Today, we're going to explore a gentle, science-based way to help your body realign naturally, using movements designed specifically for the needs of an aging body. And the best part, you don't need intense workouts or complicated routines to begin feeling the difference. Before we go any further, I'd love to know who's here with us today. Comment your name, your age, and the state you're watching from. We're building one of the strongest, most active communities for adults over 60 right here, and your presence truly matters. Let's prove that strength has no expiration date. One of the most common pieces of advice people hear after 50 is simple: just walk more, and walking is wonderful. It supports heart health, improves mood, and keeps the body moving. But walking trains the body mainly in one direction, forward. Life, however, doesn't happen only in straight lines. Every day, your body turns, reaches, steps sideways, stands up from chairs, and stabilizes itself against gravity. These movements depend heavily on the position and stability of your hips and pelvis. Over the years, especially after decades of sitting, driving, or working at desks, a small but powerful group of muscles at the front of the hips gradually becomes tight. These muscles are called the hip flexors. When they shorten, they gently pull the pelvis forward and downward. This shifts the natural alignment of the body, causing the lower back to arch more and the lower abdomen to move forward. This posture is often called an anterior pelvic tilt, but you don't need to remember the name to understand the feeling. You may simply notice your belly sticking out more, your back feeling compressed, or your posture becoming harder to maintain without effort. And here's the important part. This isn't a failure of strength or discipline. It's a normal adaptation your body makes over time. Once people begin noticing posture changes or a belly that pushes forward, their first instinct is usually to exercise more. Some focus on abdominal workouts, hoping stronger abs will pull everything back into place. Others try deeper stretches, longer walks, or more demanding routines they find online. But many discover something frustrating. Despite their effort, the posture doesn't change. The lower back still feels tight, and the body slowly returns to the same position again. This happens because the body doesn't change through effort alone. It changes through sequence. Your muscles and nervous system follow a specific order when restoring healthy movement patterns. If that order is skipped, the body simply falls back into familiar habits. Think of it this way: if a door hinge is stiff, forcing the door open harder doesn't fix the problem. First, you release the tension, then you restore movement. Only after that can the door move smoothly again. The same principle applies to the pelvis and hips. Before strengthening, the body needs space. Before retraining movement, the right muscles need to wake up. That's why today's approach follows 3 simple steps: not harder exercise, but smarter movement designed to work with your body, especially after 60. So instead of pushing the body harder, today we're going to take a different approach, one that works with your body rather than against it. These next movements follow a simple 3-step reset system designed especially for adults over 50. Each step prepares the body for the next, allowing change to happen naturally and safely. First, we release the tension that has been quietly pulling the pelvis out of alignment. Second, we activate the muscles that may have become inactive over time, especially the glutes. which play a major role in supporting posture and stability. And finally, we retrain the way your body moves, helping everyday actions like standing, walking, and rising from a chair feel smoother and more balanced again. None of these movements require strength, speed, or flexibility. They simply help your body remember patterns it already knows, but may have stopped using. Let's begin with the first step. Exercise 1 hip flexor release. Half kneeling hip flexor stretch. The first step is not about strength, it's about creating space. Over time, the muscles at the front of the hips, often called the hip flexors, can become shortened from years of sitting, driving, or simply moving less in varied directions. When these muscles stay tight, they quietly pull the pelvis forward, placing extra pressure on the lower back and pushing the abdomen outward. This gentle stretch helps release that tension. Begin by placing one knee on the floor and stepping the opposite foot forward, forming a comfortable lunge position. If needed, you can place a cushion or folded towel under the knee for support. Sit tall through your spine. Imagine a string gently lifting the top of your head toward the ceiling. Now, slowly shift your hips forward just a few inches. This is a small movement. There is no need to push deeply or force the stretch. You should feel a gentle opening along the front of the hip on the kneeling side. Here's an important detail instead of arching your lower back. Lightly tighten your glutes and imagine tucking your tailbone slightly downward. This protects the spine and directs the stretch exactly where your body needs it. Breathe slowly. Allow the muscles to soften rather than forcing them to lengthen. Hold this position for about 20 to 30 seconds, then switch sides. Many people notice that simply releasing this area makes standing feel lighter and more upright almost immediately. Remember, the glute muscles are among the strongest stabilizers in the human body. They help support the pelvis, protect the lower back, and make everyday movements like standing. Climbing stairs or getting out of a chair feels smooth and controlled. But after years of sitting or reduced movement, these muscles can become what specialists sometimes call inactive or sleeping. When that happens, the lower back and hip flexors begin doing work they were never designed to handle alone. This is where the glute bridge comes in. Lie comfortably on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Let your arms rest gently at your sides. Take a slow breath in. As you exhale, press through your heels and slowly lift your hips upward. Imagine your hips being guided toward the ceiling by your glute muscles, not pushed by your lower back. Raise your hips only until your shoulders, hips, and knees form a gentle straight line. There's no need to lift higher. Pause here for 2 seconds and lightly squeeze your glutes, as if holding a small coin between them. Then slowly lower your hips back down with control. Move slowly and breathe naturally. Aim for about 8 to 10 repetitions. You may notice warmth or gentle fatigue in the back of the hips. That's a sign the correct muscles are beginning to wake up again. This step is essential because releasing tight muscles alone isn't enough. The body also needs to remember which muscles are meant to support posture. By activating the glutes, you help guide the pelvis back toward a more balanced position, reducing strain on the lower back and allowing the body to stand more comfortably upright. And once these muscles begin working again, we're ready for the final step, teaching the body how to use them during real movement. Exercise 3 movement retraining, kneeling hip thrust. Now we come to the final step, retraining movement. After releasing tight muscles and activating the glutes, the body is ready to relearn how to move in a more balanced and supportive way. This step helps transfer what your muscles just practiced into real-life actions like standing up, walking, and maintaining posture throughout the day. Begin by kneeling on the floor with your knees about hip width apart. Sit your hips gently back toward your heels so your body feels relaxed and supported. Place your hands on your hips for awareness and balance. From here, slowly press your hips forward and upward until your body forms a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Focus on squeezing your glutes to bring your hips forward, rather than arching your lower back. Imagine your hips guiding the movement, while your spine stays tall and relaxed. Pause briefly at the top, then slowly return your hips back towards your heels with control. Move slowly and smoothly, repeating this motion about 8 times. This exercise teaches something incredibly important: how to use the hips, not the lower back, to create movement. Many daily activities depend on this exact pattern. Standing up from a chair, stepping forward, or stabilizing yourself during walking all require coordinated hip extension. When the glutes lead the movement, pressure on the spine decreases and balance improves. For many people over 60, this step feels surprisingly natural, almost like the body remembering an old skill it once knew well. And that's exactly what's happening. You're not forcing change. You're restoring a movement pattern your body was designed to use all along. You may be wondering why movements this gentle can make such a meaningful difference, especially after 60. The answer lies in how the body changes with age. As we grow older, the goal of exercise shifts. It's no longer about pushing harder, moving faster, or training like we did decades ago. Instead, the body responds best to movements that improve coordination, restore balance, and reduce unnecessary strain. Many discomforts that appear later in life are not caused by weakness alone, but by movement patterns that have slowly drifted away from alignment over time. When the pelvis is supported correctly, muscles begin sharing the workload again. The hips move more freely, the lower back relaxes. Standing upright requires less effort. In other words, the body doesn't need more force, it needs better communication between muscles. This is why small, intentional movements can sometimes create bigger changes than intense workouts. After 60, progress often looks quieter, less tension, more ease, greater confidence in everyday movement. You're not trying to rebuild a younger body. You're learning how to support the body you have now wisely, gently, and sustainably. How to do this daily. The beauty of this routine is its simplicity. You don't need a long workout session or special equipment. In fact, this entire sequence can be completed in just a few minutes a day. Start with the hip flexor stretch. Hold each side gently for about 20 to 30 seconds, allowing the front of the hips to relax and open. Next, move to the glute bridge. Perform 8 to 10 slow repetitions, focusing on smooth lifting and controlled lowering rather than height or effort. Then finish with the kneeling hip thrust. Repeat the movement slowly about 6 to 8 times, paying attention to how your hips guide the motion. Altogether, this routine takes less than 5 minutes. You can practice it in the morning to help your body start the day aligned, or in the evening to release tension built up from sitting or standing. Consistency matters far more than intensity. Small daily movements, repeated gently, allow the body to change safely and naturally over time. This video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your physician or qualified healthcare provider before beginning any new exercise program, especially if you have existing medical conditions, pain, or mobility concerns. Move gently, listen to your body, and stop any exercise that causes discomfort or pain. Your safety and well-being should always come first. You don't need to chase youth to feel better in your body. What you truly need is support movements that respect where you are today and help you move forward with confidence. Small changes, practiced consistently, can restore comfort in ways that feel almost surprising. Standing becomes easier, walking feels lighter, and posture begins to improve not because you force it, but because your body feels supported again. Aging is not a process of losing ability. It's a process of adapting, learning new ways to care for the body that has carried you through decades of life, experience, and resilience. Each gentle movement you practice is an investment in independence, balance, and freedom. So take your time, move patiently, and trust that even small steps, repeated daily, can lead to meaningful change. Your body isn't working against you. It's simply waiting for the right kind of support. Now we'd love to hear from you. Which of these three movements felt the most comfortable for your body today? Did you notice a small change in how you stood or moved afterward?